Okay.
So we have a written request from the people from Gun Creek who would like to put up a model home. And they need our approval to do that because the road hasn't been accepted yet. And there's a letter from the town engineer to them, telling them
Is this all
that you've
yours?
got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this before, but it's okay to go ahead and put it up. So I would make a motion to approve their request as long as all the items from the engineer are addressed.
Okay, is there a second?
No.
Bev, you making a second to mine? I'm sorry, yeah, this is mine. Sorry. Is there a second?
Gun Creek,
Yes, I'm gonna table it.
no, it's okay. I talked to John Whitney, Doug Merriman, something that's done, when we used to have the home shows here, it was done, that subdivision wasn't completed and dedicated to the town yet, but they put up all those model houses. These people want to put up a model house.
They're allowed to do that.
They're allowed to do that. There's requirements here from John Whitney sent to the people, Paul Bliss, at, for the Concrete Project, and everything should be fine. I talked to him today, and Doug both. Shouldn't
Oh,
be a-
Doug's okay with the two?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Can I say, I'm gonna say one more thing about this. Received an email today alleging procedural failures with the Gun Creek project. I sent it to our lawyers. I have heard nothing back about it. I have no knowledge whether it's correct or incorrect. There was, on top of that, there was barely any feedback negative from the town during the public hearing section for Gun Creek. So, given those circumstances and where we are right now, I will vote to approve the temporary.
So I made a motion, and then you just need your second.
Second by Bev?
Okay.
Okay, do you understand the issue? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to make sure because you just walked.
Sally, I'm going to give you this so that you can put it
Yeah,
along
it-
with the resolution.
And the requirements from engineering should also go with it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all, roll call?
Millico,
Aye.
Kinney?
Aye.
McMurray?
Aye. Okay,
But,
Yeah, because I had gotten the first letter saying the road wasn't up to par yet.
well, that's, yeah, but that's all, that's requirements that they have to meet. That's all stipulated by the engineering department.
okay, community center post interview discussion. I just wanted to give an update. Essentially, we had further discussions regarding this. Just to avoid the accusation that we're somehow not being transparent. It's an ongoing process. We're talking to different parties. We have reviewed some proposals about different parties who want to advise us on this. And we are gathering feedback from different groups in the town, in particular from some of the different, what would you call them? Organizations in the town. Any other comments on that? Okay. Baseball concession stand. The baseball concession stand, okay guys, they came to see me, I think they saw all of us. Apparently this is a danger. The thing pops, electricity doesn't work, the roof is potato chips as they described it. This is a very vivid description.
Well, this is
That's a little
something,
bit true. A little bit.
it's a little exaggeration.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It needs repair. It should have been repaired last year.
I was gonna say,
Didn't get
last
repaired last
year.
year because we were gonna do it all together with the pavilion project. That didn't go.
Yeah.
So it needs to be repaired. Tommy's already gotten quotes. He wants to get it done this spring before they get in there.
I think it's fair, right?
So,
Yeah.
When
I
I
think the only thing-
talked to them, they said exactly what you're saying. When the project's there, they said regardless of whether you get the pavilion, you need to look at.
Right. The other thing I would say is,
electrical.
we don't have the money in this year's budget. It was budgeted previous, so that means it got rolled over into fund balance.
Right.
So the money's in fund balance. We're
Right.
just gonna have to appropriate it the way Pam says you gotta appropriate it.
I think that's right.
What I would make a suggestion, I was talking to Dan Drexelius the other day on a number of different things, and one of the things was a possible way to do a pavilion in that park that would cost us less than what was originally scoped out. And in the process of doing that, I talked about the roof, and I said, yeah, we're just probably gonna put the asphalt shingles down. I said, don't, absolutely not. You need to do the same thing as Miracle League, you need to put that metal roof down. Because that metal roof is almost like a lifetime roof. You won't have to worry about it, and if you have to re-roof, you don't have to strip anything, you just go over it. So I'm gonna make a suggestion that Tommy looks into roofing that concession stand in a metal roof. And if it costs us 25% more.
It'll last 50 years.
It'll last
Yeah.
40 or 50 years, whereas a 25-year asphalt shingle or a 50-year asphalt shingle doesn't get to that level. It never does because of the heat and the sun and
That's
everything
fair.
like that. So
Is he gonna get both?
well, he's already got, I
Prices for-
believe he's already got the asphalt.
I think it's not a
Make
bad idea to
suggestion
get a
to him.
cost for the
Get the
other.
cost for the other one and we can compare it and
Yeah,
make a decision after that.
yeah.
Because it's gotta come out of fund balance, it can't come out of.
So Tommy, so the next step is Tommy to get us a quote. I talked to these boys, not boys, these giant men, what are their names? Two guys that visited me for the baseball?
Jim
Done.
Nyland
Yeah.
and.
Don Scalise.
Yes.
Yes.
I talked to them
Those are the
also.
two I talked to.
I referred them to speak to Double D about how he got the Miracle League done, about any other further work. I said, listen, why don't you talk to the people who did it before and see how they did it? So they're working on that. So I think separate from all of that stuff, we should get the roof and the electricity done this year for sure.
Well,
We gotta get the
electricity is a
cost
different
back.
story.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's a touchy issue. The issue is that that building was put up with volunteer help, not for Little League, for the park. And that concession stand can be used by anyone who wants to sign it out for the current fee anyway of $15.
Yeah, that was the intent.
Little League is the only people who have used it besides soccer for one time or two times. They tried to use it, they said it doesn't work. The soccer teams are all over the park. They stay for an hour, they leave. Sounds like a baseball game. Football used it previous to getting their portable concession stand, and I don't believe they use it anymore. They use the bathroom facilities there. I don't think they use the actual concession stand part. So it's become a Little League building,
Well, the name of it is Little League.
It's essentially a Little League building, yeah.
but it's not. It's a town building.
Right.
And the town pays for everything in that building, the water, the electric.
Right.
And it was upgraded once, because I worked there. So I know that it came across from the building behind Diamond 4, or 3, I mean, and then down, it's in a conduit. The problem is, they have too much stuff. And I'm going out on a limb, and it's on there, but that is the problem. The problem is they're running coffee makers and hot dog rollers and a cotton candy machine and 2 freezers and a refrigerator and on and on and on. So the question becomes, do we, the town, expend money for the benefit of Little League? We're already paying the
How much
electric
money?
bill. I don't know, but I heard it's like $18,000.
The problem is, I'm afraid it's a danger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know how you take care of that danger?
Kick out the hot dogs?
You tell them, look, this is what you can have on. And you have too many freezers here or too many refrigerators, and you're gonna have to store that stuff in a different location until you actually need it.
So why don't we get an assessment done from Tommy? Did Tommy give us a recommendation?
I don't know if Tommy can do that. I think you need an electrician, and I'm not sure if, I don't think we have a contract with an electrician, like Cross Controls or something like that. Like Podlucky has our concrete.
Cement?
Right.
All right, so I don't think we have that. So I think we just call somebody up, and maybe the person to call up is the guy who did the Miracle League.
Was that Sierra?
I'm not sure who it was. It's either downstairs in the building file, or Dan Drillicilius would know with a phone call. I would suggest that guy. The reason that guy is because originally we were told in the Parks building there wasn't enough electricity. Well, we found out enough electricity to have no problem at all. They stepped it up to the transformer and the whole business in that little garage, restroom type of building that's up front. And it goes to the Miracle League, and there's actually enough electricity in that Miracle League building to go out to where the old maintenance building was proposed to be, up by where the Verizon Tower is supposed to maybe going in someday. But there's enough electricity out there, maybe this guy would really be able to tell you, not only if you went from the Miracle League over to the concession stand, which means you have to go underneath 2 parking lots, a road and a parking lot, or can they go through the current conduit that goes out there?
Yeah, I did talk to John Wood. He said that the current voltage is going over to the concession stand isn't enough to be stepped up, that they would have to jump over to Miracle League and get the additional
So
stuff.
why don't we ask Tommy to reach out to this guy and to get him to come in and do an assessment? Okay, so Tommy can do an assessment on the roof. Cindy, can we reach out to him tomorrow?
Oh.
Are you gonna reach out to him?
Oh, you gonna?
I don't care.
You can do it.
You,
You're good at it.
yeah, you know.
You know him, so, okay, is that okay?
Just a question, you probably know, right? The football stand building, which I remember that was one of the first things that came before us when I got on board. And to me, I remember it saying it was a shed, but I was out there a couple weeks ago and I saw it and it's a
Yeah, it's
two-story
two
building.
stories, storage underneath and the
Okay.
press box up top.
But someone told me they actually built that.
They did.
Football league did.
Yes.
And paid for it.
Yes, they did.
Did all the electric and everything.
That's how the concession stand was built too. It was built with volunteer labor, and they came in, a bunch of guys from Little League. I don't know if there was anybody else involved. Okay, Larry played for, so they got all that together and they built that. With the idea that they needed a concession stand, but then it was gonna become it had to be a town building, just like anything else that gets built in the park, ends up being dedicated to the town. So now it's a town building and the town has to deal with it somehow. And that, there's a concession stand agreement that I'm actually a little bit surprised that someone else hasn't come in to say they would like to run it, because I would think, I have no idea, I was never in the finances of Little League when I was in Little League, I was only the scheduler and a coach. So I don't know how much money they make there, but from what I understand, they make a decent amount of money. And that's good, because it goes back into their program.
Yeah, and the Miracle League people that I talked to said that also anybody can use that pavilion. Just go by the schedule. And they pay a certain amount of money too, because it belongs to the town, it's dedicated back to town.
Right,
the way
that's
it
another
works,
thing we
right?
need to look at sooner rather than later, is Miracle League usage. But we can put that on the next agenda or whatever.
What's the issue though?
The issue is who gets to use that facility other than Miracle League. Miracle League has first rights, we know that.
Right.
So can anyone else use that facility, and how we restrict the use of that facility, specifically T-ball, baseball, little kids?
Well, there's a sign up that basically says that you get the permission to use it going through the park department.
Yeah,
The
but
park department contacts,
yeah, but
I
there's,
mean, that fits up, that's
I
what's
know,
written.
but people.
It's a really nice field. A lot of people would want to use it.
Well, not the
Especially
field so
useful
much
for,
as the
especially
pavilion.
useful for baseball.
No, the field is good.
The field's
Also.
good for little kids.
Yeah, for
You
little
can't wear
kids.
spikes on the base,
Yeah, yeah.
you gotta wear sneakers
You
and
gotta
stuff
be
like that.
careful.
But for little kids, you're not playing in slop, the ball's gonna roll through, it's not gonna hit something that'll come up and hit you in the chin, in which case I don't wanna play
T-balls,
baseball
yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
So, we tried to work on that for
How'd
the
you
last
know what
couple of
happened in
years.
my life?
We can work on that.
All right.
I have just one other thing
Yeah.
about the concession stand. You talked about Jim Nyland
Yep.
and Don Scalise. Apparently, they were looking to try to get this pavilion built that we were talking about. I also had been talking to John Whitney, and I've got, and this is another reason why I saw Dan Drexelius the other day to ask him about their Miracle League plans. He says, they're in the building department, go have it. Welcome to them, go get them. So I did. And we're gonna work, and I'll call up both of those guys, I know both of them. Don actually used to work for me down in the Parks Department. And James's father, Mike Nyland, was my boss. So
Wow.
I know them pretty good.
So they,
And I'll get a hold of them and I'll
That's
say,
good.
look, we'll work together. I already talked to Doug about it, I talked to John Whitney about it, how can we work on this, and we've got a little bit of.
they came to the same conclusion that way we were going about it before didn't make any sense. So if we can find a better way to do it,
We think we can.
I'll be all for it.
Okay.
Resolution for no way. Resolution for
Proposed
New York's
park fees.
N1, oh yeah.
Skipping over one.
Proposed park fees, oops.
That's right.
So we have the proposed park fees, this has been on here for a while, are we good with it?
Well, what happened is, we weren't good with it. People weren't good with it. And so I went down to Tommy, and I said, look, you're adamant about some particular things, and maybe you need to negotiate things that aren't all that important. So let's go to the list. So now he and I sat down and went through the list. I said, look, is that really important that you have a $10 cleanup fee? He said, well, this and this. I said, I understand, but there's people on the board that don't think that that's necessary and stuff like that. Let's crush this down to what you think you should get. So he's thinking, for the administration of the baseball, soccer, football separate down here, I don't know why, it should be up at the top altogether. It's just a flat $100 fee, It's like an administrative fee when you come in for a building permit or something
Yeah.
like that, because the Parks Department has to schedule those fields, has to change those fields, all that kind of stuff. So it's just $100 there. The concession stand, they suggest, goes to $25 a day. Now, I think that's pretty reasonable considering the fact that it's been $15 from day one, which
Yep.
is whatever year that was.
Mhm.
I don't know how long ago it is, but quite a long time ago. The next one down is the travel teams. This is not Little League teams.
It's travel.
This is people who create travel teams, and they have, at times, non-islanders playing. And he's thinking that maybe $25 a team, and if it's a complete team of 10 people, that'd be $250. If it's over the 300, it's a 300 max.
And these coincide with other towns.
Yeah, if you look at other towns, actually, if you do that, you're underneath other people. The next one is, if you look at them to the right, it says weekends and holidays. The reason for that is, every time they schedule something going on the weekend or holiday, they have to bring people in on overtime.
Yep.
It's not during the week, and their budget keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger because these teams keep on playing. They're up to, 7 days a week, playing on holidays too. So that's the suggestion. Tournaments are the same thing. Weekends, you'll notice, it's weekends. Camps, clinics, and academies. Those are people that come over and want to use your field to run a soccer clinic. Well,
Yep.
that's, Ray's soccer academy. Coming over wanting to run it, and I get to use the fields, and I don't pay a nickel, and I charge the kids $50 a piece, and, I
What
don't,
are we charging you right now?
nothing, I don't believe.
So now they're proposing 150.
Yeah.
Which sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, very
for another
reasonable.
town.
It's like one camper's,
Yeah,
admission.
it's, the football one should have been up on top with the baseball, football, or soccer. The next one is fundraiser. You notice it says non-resident again. So when you're talking Relay for Life, if you're talking, the lawnmower races, that doesn't count. But if somebody else wants to come in and use the park somehow, some way, Vikings Run, that's Vikings for Vets, is that what it is? The 5K,
Yes.
5K run?
Yeah.
They don't get charged. That's an island type of fundraiser, so it seems reasonable. Additional field requests, to explain that for you, because that's how they put it down. What it means is, during the course of the year, let's say they've made 9 soccer fields. And they're all set, and everything's fine. But at the end of the year, in September or August, they say, hey, we need another field over at Sidway. Well, in order for a guy to go over there and lay that out and paint it,
Strike it, all that.
it's a day for him to do that. So they're saying, you know what, we have fields, we'll do your normal fields, but if you're asking for extra fields, something that we don't ordinarily do, then, football wants a practice field over Kegamine. All right, well, that's not something we normally do for you guys. We can do that for you, but actually laying a football field takes a couple days, not just one day. And then the last thing down there is something that Tommy says is much better now than it has been in the past. But there are times when you spend, it's baseball and softball, you spend time doing a field. It takes time to prepare that field with people, and then nobody shows.
And you don't charge them for that?
And we don't charge them, we haven't in the
didn't.
past, we haven't charged them for that. And the thing is, people will take that for granted to say, oh, you know what,
No big
we
deal.
got a game going on, field's prepared, nobody plays on it, and they go, well, so what, what's the difference? Well, the difference is, that means I had to put guys out there
Make it right.
specifically to prepare that field, when they could have been doing something different. So that's what his suggestion is for that.
I think that's reasonable.
So I'm good with all this stuff. This mostly applies to private groups or outsiders.
Right.
The next page, are we okay with these charges?
I think this next page is already been done.
Right.
I'm not positive, but I think it is along
I
with the
thought we did it in
recreation
the beginning of the
piece.
year, right?
Yes, I think we did,
Or beginning last year, rather.
yeah.
So can we,
Did these change?
no.
No, I don't think so.
They look the same.
Yeah, I believe these are the same. The 2017 Parks fee and rental loaner use for supplies, I think that's all the same that it was last year.
So unless you guys, well, I'll entertain a motion to approve these fees. I'd like to just get moving on it.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I can give you a copy of, no, you know, you already have it, right? Because I sent it to
Yes, I
Patty
do.
today.
I have it.
Yep.
So you're doing a lot of explaining today, right? Can you explain the New York State Urban and Community Forestry Grant? Are you aware of this?
That's the grant that we're going for.
You have it.
Yeah.
She has the.
Is it written already?
That's just
Yes.
one sheet.
Oh,
Thanks.
This is from Nathan Taylor. This is for your grant for your board.
no, this is an inventory grant.
Yeah, this is inventory.
Right.
This is a grant because there's a process you have to go through. And if you want to start getting a grant for trees, for the actual trees in order to plant them, you have to have an inventory first.
Right.
So this grant is to go out and get a professional, hopefully with students from Buffalo State as interns that will come out. Tonawanda has already done this. Did I, well, I left it downstairs.
Yeah,
It was
talked to
it
Diane,
was in the pink one.
Evans about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's something that is needed, and we're putting forward to do that. I think at a particular time, between now and March 1st, they're going to ask the town board for a letter of support.
Yeah.
Like if I can get a letter of support from the town board, and a letter of support from the Conservation Advisory Board, and a letter of support from the Arborists, and so on and so on and so on.
Letter of support
It-
stating what in
it-
particular?
Just that you think that this is an important thing, it's good for the island because of the environment, you know, oxygen is released by
Cindy,
trees and so on and so on.
Could
and
you
so on.
draft that for our use? Okay.
You may know, you may wanna ask Diane
Evans.
or Bernie or Nathan
Yeah.
what the terminology is that makes it sound better. Okay. And other than that, it's, therefore, the resolution authorizes the town's commitment of the balance of funds to implement the project. I think that's once we get the grant.
Once we get the grant.
Yeah.
It's to basically match that
Please
fund.
include this resolution for Monday's work session, and we'll need an original signed and certified copy at your earliest convenience.
Is that
Okay, so
matching funds?
maybe we need that, no, it's not.
Well, she has the grant right there. Hold on.
You need to
That's
pass
the,
that resolution.
Attached, well, I don't have it, attached is the
It's right here.
authorizing resolution.
Tree inventory bid?
Yeah.
So if you have the authorizing resolution, then we just need to make a motion to
Here,
authorize the supervisor to sign the resolution,
Oh,
I would
it's the
think.
resolution right here,
Is there a signature on the bottom, Bev?
signature clerk.
Signature of the clerk? So we just need to pass the resolution then, and then the clerk signs it.
So I'm gonna read the resolution so we all understand, real quick. I, Patricia Frenzel, elected clerk of the town of Grand Island, New York, do hereby certify the following resolution was adopted at a regular meeting of the town of Grand Island, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the Grand Island Town Board, in coordination with the Grand Island Conservation Advisory Board, desires to complete a comprehensive town-wide inventory and assessment of trees located within the Grand Island right-of-way along streets and municipal properties at an estimated total cost of approximately $58,000. Whereas the Grand Island Town Board has endorsed an application requesting the maximum amount of $50,000 for financial assistance through the Urban Community Forestry Program, administered by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Whereas the Grand Island Town Board commits to providing the balance of funds necessary, which is an amount of $8,940. So we give $8,000, they give us $50,000. Sounds like a good deal.
And what part of the budget do we take that out?
Thank you. What kind of part of the budget?
Where,
That would come out, it'd come out,
Contingency,
it'd come out of the town board letter. It would come out, he has an account that he could pull that out, of the town supervisor.
or there's contingency funds.
we need to do it.
Yep.
I mean, it's a real problem.
I think it's a good,
And
It's
fifty
a- it's-
thousand for,
Again, the problem with us trying to get grant money for trees to plant, we can't get it unless we have
do
the
this.
inventory first. So you gotta go do the inventory. Now, could we do the inventory cheaper than that? I'm not sure. We'd have to hunt around and
No.
find a professor and
No way.
and people and, you know, all
we
that.
wouldn't get it done in time.
If we can get a grant done, we can get it done this year and away we go.
So I entertain a motion.
To approve the resolution as read?
to
Yes.
approve- Yeah,
so move.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Can you give this back to her? Okay,
Well, she should have this too.
so the next thing is the resolution for the
Thank you.
master plan grant. I can get a summary of this. we have the grant, it's $40,000. We don't have to put up any matching funds. There was some discussion, was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago regarding the purpose of community block grants. Okay, just, I wasn't clear enough that day, so I'll be clear enough today.
Well, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
I got it.
But I want the community to get it, because it's like, so there's, so JaredGrantIsland.com, and these grants are signed by our town all the time. They do not allow Erie County to come in and establish slums on Grand Island. So whoever's saying that, do not believe that. It's a common grant. Is there any other discussion on this?
No, it's just that when you read that grant, it gets down to a point where it talks about if you're using the grant for housing, then you may have to look at subsidized housing. We're not using the grant for housing, we're
federal.
using the grant to write a master plan. So
Exactly.
we will not have to.
It just refers to federal laws that we would
Right.
have to adhere to anyway if we were to go into.
I researched a little bit and I also talked to Peter.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
seem
did
to be
too.
fine.
So I entertain a motion.
You gotta read that.
Read the motion.
Authorize the supervisor to sign contract, okay. I'll entertain a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with Erie County for the Grand Island Master Plan update. That's what this is.
That's the resolution.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you for being so reasonable. Conservation and Recreation Board appointments. I know one of our councilmen asked us to wait on this, but he's,
Who did?
well, is it gonna change the vote?
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, I kept, when we had the interviews, I kept track, and we did go around, and everybody said their preferences. So for the Conservation Board, and Diane, actually, I don't know if she emailed you,
She
but
did
she
email
emailed me and said, I really would like our people on board so I can have it at the next meeting, and she really wanted them at the last meeting. For the Conservation Board, it was 6 and 6 for the two.
How many people have interviewed for the conservation?
There were 5, but this is what the vote was
Yeah, there was, it's not gonna change anything.
for these people, and these people, nothing. Okay, so it seems, and you have 2 openings,
Right.
so seems to me,
And, was this person conservation? Oh, it
No,
says no.
no,
no.
they
So it's,
withdrew their.
so it's just 4?
application. Yeah.
Yeah,
There were 4?
there's
Yeah.
4
All right,
and 2.
I know all of them,
Uh-huh.
and I've read resumes from them. I've talked to 3 of them, and I agree with people's ideas that Paul and Robert are the ones that should be appointed. And Chris and Mike were the same?
Yes,
Okay, well, then I
there was
think
no
that's-
change.
But you
Okay.
need to decide which terms go to which guy.
Yeah,
Oh, what are
The terms are, I noted them on the top.
One term's end at the end of this year, 12/31/17, and the other term is 12/31/21. So being as you're the liaison,
you make the call.
you make the call.
Just do them in order. We'll put Paul for the first one and Robert for the second one.
Yeah. He'll just be,
Alphabetical order, the order they're in, whatever.
okay, so make that resolution.
I'll entertain the
Just the
resolution.
liaison.
Make a motion to appoint Paul Yeager to the term to expire December, is that in here?
Right here first, right here at the top.
December 31st, 2017, and Robert Wynn to the position that expires 12/31/21.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What about this other one? Are we gonna do this Parks and Rec?
I think there's from what I've heard, there's a difference of opinion on that.
Just one person who voted outside of the lines, everyone else voted for the same
Okay,
people.
here's what, I mean, these were all, there's 2 position, one's at the table and the other's an alternate. These were for this person at the table, and this one was for this one as an alternate. And these were votes. There was 1 vote, and then somebody canceled the vote, so it ended up being, and then 2 for
That's it.
this
It's
particular.
not gonna change, even if
So
you,
unless, I don't see how.
unless everyone changes their vote.
And also, just so you know, the two of these 2 people were from the Conservation Board. It's with their votes. So,
The
it's not
resolution goes well.
number 1 and number 2 these were mine, Nathan's. Who did I get?
If you really want to wait, I don't care, but I mean, I don't,
I'd like to wait on that one.
Okay,
all right.
I don't have a problem with that.
Because I'd like to, I wasn't in any interviews, unfortunately. From the resume and from the person's knowledge, education, and enthusiasm, I would think Robin would be excellent. I don't think there's anybody on that board that has a recreation degree.
They were all good.
I know that.
Yeah, so, but I mean,
I get that, but,
we'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
I can delay, I don't care.
all right.
Great, moving on. Governor's announcement on the Welcome Center. I just want to give you guys an update. So there's no miscommunication. This is not my project or the Grand Island project. It's a project I lobbied for. It's a project I reached out to the governor's office for, but they moved forward without me. It is not a gas station. It is based on my brief discussions with their office. It's not a gas station. It is not a concession stand. It is not even a restaurant. It is basically a museum, a welcome center. I went and visited the one in Long Island. It's fantastic. It's beyond what you can believe. It's beautiful. It's full of digital kiosks, and they're not selling anything. They're not hawking anything to you. They're a little coffee bar, but that's it. I mean, it's basically, it's got artifacts from the community, video screens. So I wanted to get that out there. So, and they're going forward with the project. I am not part of the planning process.
But I heard that rumor that there's gonna be a gas station, but I also know that there's no gas station.
No gas station.
Not at their welcome centers, there aren't.
No.
No. The welcome, this is a big deal. And by the way, I should put it out there as well. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but rumors can ruin projects, and we do not want to scare away a project that all of Western New York called me and said, how did you get that? How did the heck did Grand Island get that? I mean, that's when we were at the governor's thing and they announced it, they actually made the formal announcement, people were coming up to me like saying, oh, you're so lucky, Grand Island got this. It's a great thing. It has nothing to do with anything besides celebrating. I put them in touch with June Crawford. I said, reach out to the Historical Society. They'd be your best resource. Hopefully it goes well. It looks like it's going to be a great thing. I just wanted to make an announcement about it.
Where is it?
It's going to be on state property somewhere along the thruway.
Okay, that's.
Across from Priscilla's.
See, that's was some of the misconception out there.
Right.
Is that it's going to be on Alvin Road, so you'd have to get off the thruway. I mean, that
No.
wouldn't make sense. People wouldn't do that. You don't do that. When you look at other welcome centers, or you cross state lines and you go into Pennsylvania's, or you come in back into New York, or wherever you go, it's always right there. It's an easy off. You hit the restrooms, you might check out what's going on, you might say, oh geez, we're gonna go over there, and you get back on.
And that's what I
So
assumed,
it's probably
yes.
going to be over where the old stockpile area was
Yes.
over there.
Along the side of the road.
They're also gonna have a separate road from the design that we saw, that comes off of Whitehaven for citizens. So it's not like
So
you only
if-
get out.
And the other real big concern was, if you had to get off at Whitehaven, you couldn't ask for a worse intersection.
Oh, listen,
That
the
is
way,
something
so
that
the one I saw, the one in Long Island, it doesn't interfere with the local traffic whatsoever. Like you said, they have a get on and get off. I only
But
assume
he's
they're gonna do
talking
that.
about, it's a get on, get off on one side. If they get off on the other side and have to come across that viaduct, he's absolutely right.
Well, I think we can convey to them to make sure they don't
Well,
interfere with local
they
traffic.
brought it up,
Right,
as a matter
It
of
would-
fact,
it would
and
be-
that's something
It
they're
would be
going to.
really nice if they created a spot for residents coming off of Alvin. So you could just drive in and drive back out. If you're a Grand Island resident or you're visiting Grand Island, you're at the campground and you want to go to the Welcome Center to see what's going on, you can go in there instead of having to get on the thruway and then go all the way down to the South Parkway and
There's
then
a
come back.
separate entrance for Grand Islanders.
That would be nice if it was off of
Okay.
Alvin.
Yeah, it would be, actually, I hadn't thought about that.
So let's, as more information comes available, we'll talk to them. But right now, I mean, I just wanted to get it out there to people that this is not a gas station. It's not a road stop. It's a welcome center. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, one more thing. It's nothing like that thing down off the roundabout. I mean, it's actually a completely different set of circumstances. Creation of alternative planning board. Do you know what this is about?
Member, alternate.
Alternate.
That would be a second one?
Yes. Actually, Peter Marston is the one that asked me about it and requested it. He said, right now, Dave Bruno is the alternate, and Dave Bruno is more times than not at the table as a voting member. And he said, because it's such an important board for moving projects along, he wanted to make sure if we had one more alternate, if he had one more alternate, that he wouldn't have to be fearful of that, especially during vacation season. There's a couple that
I
go
don't
away.
see a problem with that, especially the planning board, because if a person is involved with the planning board for a year as an alternate, get a real good idea of what's going on, instead of all of a sudden they're appointed.
Right,
And
Yep.
it's, okay, well, this is brand new.
exactly.
I think it would be good. I'm not sure how we go about doing that. We have to create, it's now a certain member board with an alternate. We gotta create that second alternate spot. I don't know if that's a resolution or if it's
I think we need a resolution to create the second alternate, because of the type of board it is.
right.
I think we need a resolution to create that second alternate position for the planning board.
Is it only a resolution, or is that stuff local law stuff? I don't know the answer to that. Peter will know immediately.
Yeah. Well, we can check that out first. Probably, we should check
Will
that.
this hurt if it got delayed till March? Because that's the next time we can do it.
It's too much. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, this
Because I'd
is,
like to do it right.
this
Yes,
is
I
a new,
would
this
too.
is a new idea, there's no rush. I think it
Yeah.
makes sense to all of us, but we'll wait till the other board is here, or the board members are here, we'll talk it out. The point is, we don't want things to be blocked by accidental absences or by deliberate absences. If one guy says, hey, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, I'm not gonna show up to stalemate or to, filibuster.
I think mostly, a lot of it is, a lot of them like to take vacation, there's summertime, there's wintertime, there's Florida, and they don't want to see projects held up because of that. That board in particular, it's
Well,
tough.
we've created that there, and also Architectural Board of Review was the same situation.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, you didn't have enough to pass something, so they had to wait a whole month in order to get something going.
And also, Peter said that, one of the things that he said, it also gives them, that he would like, that it's stipulated that the alternate also has to have the required training, so that when he does step in and vote,
Yeah,
he has retired training too. And that way, you're right, if we lose a member for whatever reason, that alternate can step in and he has some training already, rather than training him from the get-go. Because it's a difficult board if you're not familiar
Right.
with all that stuff.
And
So,
then you also, about the sequencing of the alternates, which one goes up with
Yes, yes, so, I'll talk to Peter,
I just texted him,
yeah,
and we'll see what he says, and I'll put it on the next agenda.
okay.
Is that,
Well, if he gets back quick, then it's in the resolution. We just do the resolution right now, unless you want to wait for
we
the other
could
members.
just do the
Well, we do
resolution,
that.
and if it's not good
And
enough.
then we can take the resolution back if we have to.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
wait, let's wait.
Let's wait.
Because
Yeah.
I would like to, we
It's
do
not gonna
have
hurt to
to,
wait.
we have to put
There's
in,
no urgency.
we need to put in the training is mandatory, and we need to determine which alternative gets to be at the table.
Right.
So do the
Yeah,
alternate,
you see,
say
yeah.
there's only, it's only,
alternate, there's gotta be an alternate one and an alternate two, right?
yeah, so if, say,
There's an
you're
empty,
missing,
right,
okay.
alternate one. it's
So
the
Bev, can
one
you
that-
come with a mechanism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you think of a mechanism that we can discuss and
Yeah.
use as a suggested mechanism?
Yeah, when
Alright.
Pete gets back to me and make sure, see if we have a needed resolution to commit create the position, but also need, and I'll ask also, I'll catch up with Peter and see if there's a mechanism for the alternate one, alternate two, and who gets to step in or do they alternate. And also, well, this is a question, and Ray, you might know the answer to this question because you've been here for a while. If somebody steps down from the board in the middle of a year, their term, does the alternate automatically take that seat?
I
or
don't
do
think we have it written like that, but we've done that. It's not, I don't believe it's written like that. We could write it like that. And I'm not sure that that's a bad idea. Sounds like a pretty good idea. If there's an alternate there, and he's always there, and he's ready to
So I
step
was
into
just
the
wondering
spot,
if
why don't
we
you
have
just?
to go through the interviewing process
Yeah,
when we already have two alternates at the table.
I don't think we did it. Last time that happened somewhere, not sure where it was.
You just put a.
I think it was Dave Nardozzi.
Jim Phillips.
for the ZBA, but you didn't.
Yeah, they're talking about if somebody steps down and then you have an alternate there, can we automatically put the alternate in as a member?
I think we
and
have
then
the ability to
interview
put
for the
anybody in we want.
Then we would just
So
interview for an alternate.
So we might decide to put that alternate in. We might decide to say, well, you know what, the alternate's only been there like 50% of the time, and maybe this isn't a good idea to put that alternate in.
So we'll interview and the
Yeah.
alternate gets their opportunity to go.
Well, that's the way you drafted, but that's how you wrote the law. You wrote the law saying that if there's a vacancy, you re-interview, and you will entertain, obviously, the man who is sitting as the alternate as to go up to the upper seat.
Yeah.
And you may interview and say, no, we'd rather have you here, and we're gonna put a new people in.
So the
So you're
process
taking away
is-
your own options if you do an automatic.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the option, or the process should stay the same.
It may be automatic. You may look at it and go, geez, this makes sense. The guy's been hanging around for 2 years. He probably knows an awful lot what's going on, or the lady.
So
the
even
person.
during the interview process, I'm sure he has a leg up because
Yeah,
of,
right.
you know, because I noticed that a lot of the reasons why people pick Judy or pick someone for that first seat was because she attends all the meetings.
Mhm.
And that's basically, that gives them a leg up.
Right, yeah.
The interest is there and the participation is there. So you're saying the same thing. Okay. So I'll bring this back, workshop in March.
So we'll be in New York City next week at the Association of Towns. Living it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of good classes that,
Maybe
You've
you'll not
probably
have a
taken all of them.
snowstorm.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be okay.
oh,
Bev is so Hermione. She's like, we're gonna have a lot of good classes
we're
to
in a
go
lot of
to.
good classes, you know, Ray's probably been to all of them, but,
Well, that's why I decided not to go, because I looked at the
Because-
agenda and I'm saying, you know, there's probably like 2 that I'd be interested in going to. The other ones were just, didn't make any sense, and the other ones, I already been to one like that, I already been to one like that. So it's good for other people to go.
yeah. Since
So I
I'm looking forward to it,
Wish
actually.
Mike would go.
I've got mine
Pigeonhole already.
blocked out already, yeah, the ones that I'm interested in. And being on the planning board and economic development board, and
Yes.
there's a lot of solar stuff this year,
Mhm.
because that's become big all across the state, so I'm looking forward to classes.
So there was just an article
Huh?
in the Town Topics, that magazine type of
Yes.
thing that we get, and it was talking about NYSERDA having this program where you can get money from them, and you have to meet, like, they had like 10 different criteria. You had to meet 8, 6,
We're doing it.
something out of that.
We're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing it. There's a grant for $100,000 if you complete the job. And currently, we only need 7.
7.
If we complete 7 out of 9, then we qualify. We actually are in the running for the 100. We can qualify easily for 3 of them. 2 of them are really simple, and one is that the town pass a resolution to enter the program, which we're working on bringing it for you. The second part is that the town adopt a permitting process for building that incorporates clean energy. And the other one is that we start a transition of low energy changes, modifications to our facilities.
Well, we've already done that.
Yes, and we retrofit to it, because it goes back to 14.
Okay.
So you've got 3. We need to do 2 of them basically is that we need to come up with a process that we will look at solar farms. We're doing that.
Right.
And the
I
last
thought
one.
we met that one.
Yeah.
The way I read that one, we just did it by passing the solar
Yeah.
law, it seems like.
The bigger one of all of them is to look at retrofitting all of our streets with LEDs. That's it.
We've been in
We're on the
discussion
way, we're
about doing that
discussing.
with Dale for a while now. We just
Exactly.
haven't,
Well, they want you to convert LEDs.
What's the next step with Dale? The next step is what?
well, the next
This
step
is
would
hard.
be, we have to put out an RFP, because we can't just hire him to do it, because that's not the
Okay.
bidding process. So we'd have to put out an RFP to replace our, I call them streetlights, the intersection lights.
Right.
That we have out there that we're paying National Grid through the nose for, to replace them. Not only do we replace the light with an LED light, we replace the whole thing.
Yep.
And we don't pay National Grid anymore.
The whole pole.
The whole pole, the arm, the whole thing. And he's got that figured out, but we can't just hire him.
Well,
Let's RFP it.
you know we're doing the 5 streets. You started the grant on 5 streets, that you would combine lighting districts to get a grant. We got a grant for $13,500. And right now, we did Lynn Engineering, went out and got the numbers, which were out of this world. And then we sent the letter out, this is under Mary with Liz. And the residents came back at 49%, or, 54% said no. They didn't want to pay the number. Since then, what we've done is, one, we've asked for another quote from National Grid. And the second is we have Dale's project. And then also, we have asked CIR to give us a bid. And we're hoping that we haven't got the National Grid one back yet. As soon as we do that, then we're in position to form a letter that Nate will send out to the residents again, asking, here are the new numbers, this is the light
Do
fixture
you even want a lighting district? Do you want lights at all?
Yes.
And here's your options for a solar light, for
But ideally,
Electric.
And it would be LED.
But I wanna get-
Solar or LED.
but I think we should try to get the lights, if we can get the boulevard lights first, or to go through that process. Isn't that what we wanted to do before?
Well,
We discussed?
this project has been, we have to close the door on this project. I think the street lighting, you did ask for a proposal from a company in California that has to come in.
I know,
Okay.
but they haven't come back.
Yeah,
They have come back?
we have come back. We got it.
You got it? Oh, you just got it, all right.
Yeah, we just got it.
All right, so I guess we'll talk more about that? I don't know, we'll have to put it on the schedule.
But you'll see something coming real soon. Bernie and I are working to bring you back the papers in the order they need to be submitted.
So why don't we put that on one of the next agendas, LED lights?
Yeah,
Figure
we
this-
should
figure-
wait until we've got a little more stuff in line, right?
Right.
So maybe in March.
We're real close. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark.
Okay, so we have a young lady behind the desk here, I'm sure she wants to go home. So, okay, let's,
that needs to go to a meeting anyway.
yeah, Bev's got a meeting downstairs.
I pulled myself out of bed to come to this one so you can get more. I'm sure I'm gonna make the one downstairs.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. I'll make a motion to end this meeting, adjourn the meeting at whatever time it is right now.
7:52.
Is there a second?
Wow,
No,
you guys did-
6:52.
You
Oh,
did great.
All in favor?